In this video, I'll be walking you through the steps of linear range determination. So I already have the project open here, so I'm going to go and click on Create New Experiment, Quantitative Western Blot, Linear Range. And for this one, I'm going to be using the total protein stain, but you can also use a different loading control. Say you were using 2 different housekeeping proteins, you could do that as well. The only difference in the process would be how you import, and it's a slightly different way of doing the quantification, but you should be able to tell all of that from this image or from this tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the total protein stain here, and so I'm going to scroll down until I find the image that I need, this one right here. I'm going to select that, and then for my target protein, I'm going to do the same process. Click on that one right there and click Select. And those are the only 2 that I have. If you do have a third one that you want to add, you can also have that in here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Start. And so I'm going to say Total Protein Stain and ERK are my targets that I'm going to be validating today. You can add any kind of description that you want, and then the image information is here right under that. So for the total protein stain, I'm going to say revert 700. And then for the protein that I'm targeting here, I'm just going to say total ERK. And if you want to add any comments, that you can have that there as well. If you have more than one target in the 800 channel here, you can go ahead and click on the plus button, and that you can enter that in. So if you have 2 different targets that you're trying to validate at the same time, you can have those done together. Click Next, and so now I'm going to draw the boundary here. Now I am going to adjust this slightly just so I can see this a little bit better. I'm going to put this in grayscale and make this a little bit brighter just so I can make sure that I'm seeing everything I need to. And so I'm going to go ahead and draw my boundary to the outside here. Now if you have auto turned on, it will try to automatically find the lanes for you and do any kind of adjustments if you had any alterations in how the gel or how the lanes were run. If you do need to manually adjust these, you can click the manual button right here and set the number of lanes and adjust the placement or angle or anything like that. So I'm going to switch back to the auto at this point. Click Next. And then this is where you're going to add the information. And so we know here in lane 11, or I'm sorry, lane 8, that this is my molecular weight marker. So I'm going to add that right there. And everything else in here is a 2-fold dilution. And so starting with the highest amount right there, this was 25 micrograms, 12.5, and so we have all of that information here, and then we can also repeat that. Now, if another way that we can do this is if I click on here, I can say a 2-fold. If I say 0.5, then it does that all the way up through there. And this is just a repeat of this. And I'm going to go through the same process. So you can either, if it's less than 0, it'll do the increasing amounts. If you say a 2-fold dilution, then it'll be decreasing amounts through there. So the molecular weight marker, this is the Chameleon Duo 700. I'm going to click on Information, then it will show me the weights that will be assigned on here. If you need to create a new marker or modify an existing one, anything that you add or remove on here will then, you'll have the option to save that as a custom marker. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add. Just like that. Whoops. and click Done. And then click Next. And so for the revert, it will automatically draw the boxes over the shapes for you automatically. Now, if you had, say, a different target on here, the process that you will use for placing the shapes on there, I'll show you in the next section. So I'm going to adjust my boundary just slightly for this, because it is slightly shifted. Click Done, and then so it'll draw the shapes on there for you automatically, or the lanes on there for you. Click Next. And again, all the same information is carried over from the previous image that we had added. Click Next. I'm going to choose the 800 duo, and I'm going to adjust this just a little bit to make the band markers a little easier to see. I'm going to click Add. Click Done. Next. And then since I only have one band that I'm looking, I only have one listed here. If you had more than one protein added previously, there would be a list of them here, so you just click on the one that you want to quantify. But since I only have one, that's the only one there. I'm going to click Find Bands and draw the shape on like that. Now, if I need to make any adjustments to any of the band markers, I can do that. Just make sure that everything is enclosed within the shape. Click Next, and then we're looking at the graphs of the linearity. So what you'll notice up here at top is that it gives you the linearity, whether green is good, yellow is, or I'm sorry, green is excellent, yellow is good, and red is non-linear. So you can make adjustments so that between the revert, which is this graph right here, or the total ERC, which is this one right here, you can adjust these markers, or this definition, to find the best range of what you can use to get good linearity out of your experiment. So in this particular case, the range is from 2.2 to 7.5 micrograms, with the middle of the range being around 8. So probably your best choice for this experiment to use this as a loading control would be to use about 5 micrograms of your extract. So you click on Next, and it takes you to the review and reports. And so it shows you these same graphs on here. It also has the images and the data. If you want to export the data out to Excel, go ahead and click on this little arrow button, and then you choose Excel, give it whatever name that you want, and choose whatever location is appropriate for you. And then same holds true here. You can click on the export, and you can export the charts, you can export the images, or you can export the data. And then down here at the very bottom, you can add some observations, what your next steps would be, and any kind of summary that is appropriate for you. Your other export options are to use a PDF report, which is it just generates a basic PDF file that contains all the information that is on this screen. You can also export it as an experiment file, so if you want to transfer your analysis to a different computer, you can do that as well. Thank you.